more than just cheering your team to victory. It also involves defending and repping your club in the face of stiff opposition, and that's exactly why we're here. Welcome to Battle of the Fans. Now, Battle of the Fans is that show that gives you, the fan, an opportunity to rep and defend your club in the face of stiff opposition. We're here every Monday and Wednesday 5 p.m. and Saturday 9 o'clock in the morning, and a repeat broadcast by 5 p.m. in the evening. My name is Isaac. You can always call me Marizona, and welcome to the maiden edition of Battle of the Fans. Of course, this is a place where football fans battle for who is better. Now, we're expecting an interesting matchup later this weekend. Manchester United will take on Arsenal in a game that should be interesting. Both teams have the same dream, and that's to qualify for the UEFA Champions League next season. Now, I've got two fans with me. One is a Manchester United fan, and the other is an Arsenal fan. I'll start with the Manchester United fan. Yes, Solo Rex Akpabio. Good morning.
Yeah.
As a Manchester United fan, what are your expectations from your team this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely, Mary. It's a fine Saturday to be back. Nice to be here again. And for my expectation to Man United, I don't have any expectation because looking at Man United this season, they've fallen below the pecking order. So I don't expect them to come up with a win because when you needed them to win, they didn't win the game. So my hopes are low.
Your team just announced, the new coach. I mean, we're talking about Erik ten Hag, who has come in. You start officially next season. But what are your expectations for the new coach, Erik ten Hag?
Well, it's a big job for him, coming to a depleted Man United squad, looking at everything at the club, everything has fallen the training ground, the coaches, the staff, everyone on holiday for him because they are not turning up to party. It's going to be a big work for him, but I think if he should, give the players, a template, he can be able to get the results we are looking for. The first thing is to give us a template, then we are sure of going to the next level. All
right, so on the other side of the divide, we have an Arsenal fan, an Arsenal team, of course, who have been enjoying good form. They defeated Chelsea 4-2 just over last week, and they're brimming with so much confidence heading into this particular game against Manchester United. So I have an Arsenal fan with me, Umoenweg Nsikak rather. Well, good morning, Umoenweg. As an Arsenal fan, what are your expectations from your team, and do you think that this team can head to the top four at the end of the season?
Thank you very much, Marizona. It's good to be here. Yeah, of course, as an Arsenal fan, we expect so much from our club, being that we just defeated Chelsea last week by 4-2. So coming on that good result, and Manchester United lost by 4-1, 4-0 to Liverpool, and coming at the back of that defeat, and we are bouncing on the back of a very good victory. So we expect a whole lot from Arsenal. We hope that at the end of today, we're going to get that vital win that will bring us a step further to our Champions League dreams. But
your Arsenal team, are parading a couple of youngsters in the team. So, I mean, there's been this talk about the fact that youngsters alone cannot just give you a top four finish. You need experienced players in the team. So, what do you make of that criticism, that youngsters cannot take Arsenal to the top four?
Anyway, looking at so far so good, the youngsters have been up and doing right from the beginning of the season.
No, we're talking about Edin Ketia, who scored twice against Chelsea.
Saka,
we're talking Bukayo Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe, Martin Odegaard as well.
Yes, as well as Martin Lenny. So they have done greatly. So I don't see any need of the whole experience thing from the whole guys. So with the young guys that we are having so far, we have done very well. So we keep on using the young guys, and I'm very certain, I'm sure that our Champions League dream will come to pass.
All right, so before we get into the clash of the day, let's take you through some interesting updates from the footballing world. And Blyden Ukem is standing by for that particular one. Well, good morning, Blyden. It's interesting, of course. The weekend has come, and we are so excited. So, by the way, what a beautiful way to start the weekend.
Wonderful, wonderful way for me. It's exciting. I was listening to the Arsenal fan talk, and he did say that Arsenal had beaten Chelsea. What a way to announce your way going to this match against Manchester United. Exceptional stuff for me, and I'm excited so far being here. It's the maiden edition of the Battle of the Fans.
You look excited, Blyden.
I'm super,
I can tell.
duper excited.
I can tell.
I can't wait for the action. I can't wait for the box that
for the banter.
I can't wait for the banter, and I can't wait for all the pushes.
All right. Okay, so take us through what's happening in the footballing world, of course. We heard stories of Erling Haaland, of course, and then there's a story about Paul Pogba out, and also West Ham United in the story. So just take us through what's happening, in the footballing world.
So welcome to this special edition of the Battle of the Fans. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be wonderful. The fans are ready and bubbling. I'm ready. I want to watch what's going to happen. But we'll look at a few news bulletin and structures concerning the sporting world, especially football, and most importantly, the things happening in Europe. We'll begin with a story with Borussia Dortmund striker Erling Braut. We know him as Haaland. Haaland is very close to reaching an agreement to join Manchester City, according to Gulen Balak. Haaland's contract expires in 2024, but a release clause allows him to leave for 75 million euros this summer. Balak believes City have to sell Norway, the Norwegian rather, and the Norwegian, who's 21 years old, have been given the idea about joining City before going to Real Madrid. Also, Everton coach Frank Lampard says he would be delighted with a draw away to Liverpool in his first Merseyside derby on Sunday. Everton are 17th in the Premier League and have not won an away game since August and could be in a drop zone by kickoff. Liverpool have won 11 out of their past 12 Premier League games and trail leaders Manchester City by a point. It is going to be a team game just for the 4 past Manchester United. It's going to be difficult, he said, but I expect to get a draw at Anfield. Also, there are big stories in West Ham. West Ham have only one fit centre-back in the squad as they prepare for a first European semi-final since 1976, talking about that in the Europa League. The Hammers travel to Chelsea on Sunday before hosting German side Eintracht Frankfurt on Thursday in the first leg of their Europa League semi-final. Craig Dawson is the only fit centre-back after Issa Diop and Kurt Zouma join long-term absentee Angelo Ogbonna on the sidelines. Also, there are big stories in Liverpool, as Mo Salah has dropped more hints about his Liverpool's contract and strongly implied he wants to stay at Anfield. Adding money is not everything, according to Salah. The Premier League top scorer has been in negotiations with Liverpool for some time over a new contract, but an agreement has not yet been finalized, with the existing deal due to expire next summer. However, Salah, who turns 30 in June, has stressed the negotiations are not just about money. And the big news, which got most Manchester United fans excited, Erik ten Hag has been appointed as Manchester United manager. What are the challenges he's going to face at United and what is expected from ten Hag? But it's the big one that I'm really looking forward to, which I hope the fans would banter enough. It's Arsenal versus Manchester United. And a few nuggets and news are coming in from the team news. Few changes are expected from the Arsenal side that beat Chelsea 4-2 at Stamford Bridge on Wednesday. Alexander Lacazette is back available for the Gunners, but Eddie Nketiah seemed to keep his place in front after scoring twice against Chelsea. Cedric Soares could return at right back in the only change for Arsenal in a move that would see Ben White move back inside the centre-back. Mohamed El Neni and Sabi Lokonga are in competition to start in central midfield, with Thomas Partey being ruled out. Also, the big stories about Paul Pogba. The coach said Paul Pogba may not appear for United for the rest of the season, revealing he is out for 4 weeks with a muscle injury he suffered against Liverpool. And still in United's interim manager has confirmed Scott McTominay, Raphael Varane and Cristiano Ronaldo are all back to face Arsenal. Fred is expected to return against Chelsea on Thursday. Ralf Rangnick is reportedly going to leave Harry Maguire out of the starting 11 to face Arsenal after some tough weeks for the United captain. On Thursday, he received an email claiming a bomb had been planted at his home. These are the basic talking points, the basic stories about the big game, about what's happening in football all over the world as well as in Europe.
All right, so thank you very much, Blyden, for that update. But we've talked about Erling Haaland, and of course, he's linked with Manchester City. I mean, if we take a look at both parties, Haaland have scored over 63 goals since joining Borussia Dortmund, and City, on the other hand, have missed 57 big chances, this particular season. So, for a striker of that particular caliber, you think that would be a match made in heaven?
Really exceptional stuff. When you look at Haaland, you begin to wonder, where can he go? Massive striker. We saw him at RB Leipzig, exceptional striker from any standpoint. You want to mention the top biggest strikers in the world at the moment. You have to add the 21-year-old inside. Absolutely. Exceptional player. And look at Manchester City, such a big club. They seem to have all the dots together. One missing piece is a centre forward. And if Haaland comes in, a player that can give you over 30 goals a season, that's going to be massive. It's going to change the narrative of football in Europe for me.
Right, straight away, let's talk about the Arsenal-Manchester City game. Of course, it comes up later today by 12:30 p.m. It's an early kickoff game, and according to reports, Manchester United have not won an early kickoff game this particular season. Now, for us now, both teams are chasing a top 4 finish at the end of the season. So, what are your expectations from this, from this particular match, and how will this game go at the end of the 90?
For me, it's a big game, massive game. Arsenal, Manchester United seem to be like any derby you can think of. Not necessarily a derby, but you look at the competition within the ranks, it's usually very tough. But you look at from an Arsenal perspective, they've just beaten Chelsea. Yeah. 4-2, so exceptional. And in Stamford Bridge, it builds up momentum for the side. And you can see the young lads that are bubbling, they're ready to take on a Manchester United, which we cannot say the same. Manchester United have struggled all season. But we know against Arsenal, it's never going to be like every other game. It's going to be exceptional. It's going to be all bubbling. It's going to be all energy. Cristiano Ronaldo is back. The big names are back. And absolutely, definitely the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo will want to show class and show everyone they're still available and able to do magic.
Talking about showing class, they have a new coach in Ten Hag, who's going to be starting officially next season. So if you were Ten Hag, what would be the first thing you'd do at Manchester United?
Well, from Ten Hag's point of view, I think I'll be concerned because you look at Manchester United team. The first problem for me has always been the energy within the side. It seemed like a disjointed side. No togetherness, no cohesion. But you see, they have a bit of quality. Though most people always talk about the defensive midfield. But from my standpoint, the problem is usually not the defensive midfield, but the central midfield. Getting Bruno Fernandes to lay the final pass to the attackers and the wingers. Bruno Fernandes basically joining attack. And it's been that concern. For me, as a coach, he's supposed to come in, get the dots together, bringing the energy together. It's all about high spirit. They have the quality. For crying out loud, they're United. They ought to play like United. Maybe bringing a few 1 or 2 players into the squad. Probably a central midfielder for me.
All right, thank you very much. You make a good coach, by the way, Blyden. Thank you very much. Of course,
thank you, Isaac.
Let's go for a short break. When we come back, I will get into the banter proper. We'll get into the fan quiz, and of course, we'll let you also be a part of the show. We're streaming live on our Facebook page. Of course, head there and drop a comment at spectrumtv.ng. Let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll do justice to everything. Don't go anywhere.
It's his corner now. The cross, back post. Dubois is there. Straight back in. Oh, it's a goal! Léo Dubois.
Where Cassidy played the simple ball. Dia in for Hurtado.
Politics is a game. It is about delivering dividends of democracy. For this, accountability is key. So we listen, we follow up on the promise, and we track the progress. Watch Political Spectrum weekdays, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., exclusive to Spectrum Television.
Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by grossly abused. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the Constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigerian police force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian police force.
No, my Lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My Lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did?
He never did.
he linked you with the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
My lord, the matters council is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord, but we can't be talking about cases which are in court,
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
My lord, sorry, my lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
It's his corner now. The cross, back post, Dubois is there, straight back in. Oh, it's a goal! Léon Dubois!
Welcome back to Battle of the Fans, of course, live and exclusive to Spectrum TV. My name is Isaac. Isaac, you can always call me Marizone. And of course, I have two fans here with me, a Manchester United fan and also an Arsenal fan, and they're here to banter and talk about their chances of their team qualifying for the top spot at the end of this particular season. And of course, we're live on Facebook, SpectrumTV.ng. When you go there, you drop a comment and we'll read them in the course of the show. Let me get to the fans. First up, we have a first segment, which is going to be the quiz segment, where I'll ask each fan, a question about their clubs. They'll tell me how well they know their club, and that's what we're getting into right now. First of all, just to remind you, I've got Solorex Akpabio, who is a Manchester United fan with me. Well, Solorex, once again, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mary.
All right, and I also have Umainwek Nsikak, an Arsenal fan, an ardent Arsenal fan. Good afternoon, Umainwek.
Thank you very much, Mary.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the quiz segment, and I'll start with you, Solorex. Well, it's going to be a 5-round segment, by the way. I'd ask each fan 5 questions. If he cannot answer, the other fan is going to try to answer the question. So, Solorex, as a Manchester United fan, I'll start with you. Your first question is, who scored the winning goal for Manchester United in their 2-1 Champions League final victory in 1999?
Wow, that has to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the babyface assassin.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Yeah.
Well, you're correct. Thank you very much. That's 1 point for you. All right, let's go to the Arsenal fan. Umainwek, for you, which team did Arsenal face in Arsene Wenger's first match in charge of the club?
Wow. Wow, Mary.
I waited. Nothing. All right, so Solorex, try. Help him out.
Well, I can't rack my head about that. I need to give it to Chelsea because, kind of rivalry.
Chelsea, well, you both have it wrong. The first team that Arsenal faced in Arsene Wenger's first game in charge of the club was Blackburn Rovers, and that's the answer to that particular question. The second question goes to you, the Manchester United fan. Solorex, in what year was the Old Trafford Stadium built?
1878.
1878. Yeah. Well, that's very wrong. Let's try.
Nah, I can't remember, Mary.
Nothing.
I think it was 1870 because they were not playing at Old Trafford. They were playing at a neutral venue before they were moved to Old Trafford.
The answer actually is 1910. The Old Trafford was built in 1910. So both of you got it wrongly. All right, so I get you, the Arsenal fan, Umainwek Nsikak, who scored the opening goal in Arsenal's 2006 Champions League final against Barcelona. Who scored the opening goal for Arsenal, rather? The opening goal for Arsenal.
I know the player, but I'm just trying to remember the name.
You're an Arsenal fan. That shows you how much you know your club.
Oh, the name skipped my mind.
Solorex, let's help him out. 2006. Arsenal's opening goal against Barcelona. 2006.
Alexis Sanchez.
Sanchez was in Arsenal.
Said Fabregas.
Nah. The name is Sol Campbell. He was the one that scored the first goal for Arsenal in that game against Barcelona in the UEFA Champions League. The third question to the Manchester United fan: which player holds the most number of appearances for Manchester United in its history?
Currently or
ever?
Wayne Rooney.
You're wrong.
Ryan Giggs.
Ryan Giggs, correct. Thank you very much. Ryan Giggs holds the number of most appearances for Manchester United with 963 appearances, for Manchester United. He played between 1991 to 2014. I come to you, Umaywing Tikak, for the third question. Who is Arsenal's all-time top scorer?
Wow. Thierry Henry.
Thierry Henry, correct. I knew that would be easy for you because, of course, everybody knows Henry is an Arsenal great. And Henry, by the way, is Arsenal's record goal scorer with 228 goals to his name. All right, let's come to you, Solorex, for the fourth question. The players that progressed to Manchester United's first team under Sir Matt Busby, what were their names?
Come again.
The players who progressed to Manchester United's first team under Sir Matt Busby were known as what? They had a name, a generic name for all of them.
The Nevels.
Nah.
I can't recall.
Come on, make try.
Class of 99.
Not the class. They actually called the Busby Babes.
Busby
Oh.
Babes.
Yes, you forgot to see.
Yes.
Shows how much you know your club. They're called the Busby Babes. All right, so let's come to you. The fourth question, Mbwengwe. As an Arsenal fan, do you know how many times your team has won the FA Cup? Tell me.
Arsenal have won the FA Cup record 14 times.
14 times, correct. Thank you very much. That was good. That means you know your club a little bit. All right, so for the Manchester United fan, the fifth question for you, Solorex. Now, name United's most recent lineup in their most recent game.
David the game post, 2 centre back, Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, right back, Alex Telles, Wan-Bissaka, centre of the park, Bruno Fernandes, Scott McTominay, Nemanja Matic, up front, Cristiano Ronaldo, Elanga, and Jadon Sancho.
All right, thank you very, very much. That was very correct, but you missed out on Phil Jones. Phil Jones started that particular game for the first time in a long time, and you did not mention Phil Jones. All right, so one week for you as an Arsenal fan. Arsenal took on Chelsea over the midweek. So tell us the lineup.
First, we have Saka, we have Emily Rowe, we have who else was there?
You're an Arsenal fan. I mean, you should know these things. Let me help you out. All right, so Ramsdale started in goal. Rob Holding, Gabriel, Ben White, Tavares, Elneny, Xhaka, Odegaard, Saka, Rowe, and Eddie Nketiah all started for Arsenal in that particular game. So, Omenwe, you actually did not get it right. Yeah, well, try again. I believe the Arsenal fans watching us right now will not be happy with you. All right, so, well, before we begin to get into the banter, of course, Manchester United taken, Arsenal later today. And what are your expectations from your team, Manchester United? Judge from the fact that the team is chasing a top 4 finish. They are just a few points, 3 points behind Arsenal, who are also chasing a top 4 position. So, will this win help United to that dream of ending in top 4 this season?
Thank you, Mari. Mari, currently, I have no expectation with this current set of Man United players because these were the same players that could have won a game against Everton, and the odds could have been on them to go forward and win the Norwich City games. For me, Man United cannot finish in the top 4 because the morale is down. Therefore, switch off. They have left the building. They can't finish in the top 4.
But you do not sound optimistic as a Manchester United fan.
No, at the moment I'm being realistic. They can't finish
but
in
judging
the
from the
top 4.
fact that your team have qualified for the Champions League in the last 2 seasons, finished above Chelsea in those 2 seasons, there should be some certain level of optimism heading into today's game.
That was a different squad. Looking at this set of Man United players, I've watched Sir Alex Ferguson with the set of players he had. They had players with good characters, players who love to work with, players who love to go to the trenches with. But looking at this set of Man United players, they cannot take you to that particular place. The game against Everton, I repeat, could have been the game that they are kind of reviving their hope of finishing the top 4, because if they won that Everton game, the odds could have been on them to go on and approach the Norwich City game and keep their hopes of finishing the top 4 alive. But now, for me, Man United cannot finish in the top 4.
Now, let's talk about the new coach, Erik ten Hag. Now, there's been so much hype, heading into this man's appointment as new coach of Manchester United. Of course, he starts officially at the beginning of next season. But this man has won the Eredivisie trophy back-to-back 3 consecutive times now. So, I mean, of course, the Eredivisie in Netherlands is not the same as the Premier League. The Premier League is a lot more competitive. It's a lot more intense than the Eredivisie. So, what are your expectations from Erik ten Hag as a new coach of your club?
Absolutely, Mary. It's going to be a very tough one to do. Looking at the array of players he has at hand, the first thing has to be presenting a template. You know, a new manager coming in, you need to show the players this is how you want to play. We want to play an attacking mindset. You want to be like Man City, you want to be like Liverpool, you want to be like Chelsea. When we lose possession of the ball, we want to get it as quick as possible. That should be the template. If that is being shown to the players, I think the players will want to, you know, learn from that. And for those players who are not willing to listen to what he said, the transfer windows will always be open. Other players will come in and the rest will leave. So Ten Hag for me should prepare a template, and if the club should allow him to be in control of the players and the staff as well, because he's not the head coach, he's the manager, he's supposed to be in control of everything, then Ten Hag is good to go. Aside from that, if the club allows the player to be bigger than the manager, then he's bound to struggle.
All right, let's talk about players, because of course there's this story that there will be a massive exodus of several Manchester United players, you know, since the man Erik Ten Hag is going to come in. We've heard names like Paul Pogba, Anthony Martial, Jesse Lingard, Alex Telles, and the rest of them. As a Manchester United fan, give me a list of players that you feel should leave the club for sanity to be there at the team.
First of all, it has to be Paul Pogba. Looking at Pogba, he came into Man United a couple of years ago. He hasn't really done what a Paul Pogba we saw at Juventus should do. Fernandes came in 2 years, and you see the way he propelled the team to glory, finishing in the top four, having more goals and assists compared to Pogba.
Right.
For me, Pogba, every season, year in, year out, is always wanting to leave Man United.
So tell me somebody else.
Aside from Pogba.
Apart from Pogba.
Pogba, Matic.
Nemanja Matic, he's already said he's going to leave.
Yeah, Mata should join.
Mata,
Jesse
right.
Lingard.
Jesse Lingard.
Anthony Martial will be coming back from loan, should leave as well.
All right.
Then look at the back line. Phil Jones needs to leave as well.
Phil Jones. All right, let's come to your Arsenal fan, Omoyinwe Nsikak. Of course, your team has been relatively inconsistent. They would win today, lose tomorrow, draw the day after, and all of that. So there's been this string of inconsistent form for your team, Arsenal. But they chase a top 4 finish. Now, kudos to your manager, Mikel Arteta. They started the season on a very wrong note. They lost their first game of the season to Brentford, a newly promoted side. But since then, they've picked up the pieces. They've been trying, you know, to grind out those results. They've taken Manchester United later today. Now, your team defeated Chelsea. That's so much confidence. So, what are you expecting from your team, Arsenal, later today?
Thank you very much, Mary. Arsenal, over the couple of last weeks, have been sloppy. They lost back-to-back. They had a back-to-back defeat, but I think that Chelsea game brought us back into the race for the top 4. Even though a lot of people didn't give us a chance, considering that being that match was played at Stamford Bridge. So winning that match, we are bringing on enough confidence, and we are playing at home at Emirates. And so far so good. Over the couple of years, Arsenal, Manchester United have not won. At the Emirates Stadium.
Of course.
And today is an early kickoff, and Man U has a very bad record concerning
they've not won any game the early kickoff.
Yes, we are hoping that record continues that way today.
All right.
With the Arsenal game. So I'm expecting a whole lot from Mikel Arteta and his boys. They did so well playing against Chelsea, and I hope they replicate the same form or even something better than that against a very much inconsistent Manchester United side. Arsenal, on our own part, we are equally inconsistent, but Manchester United have been more inconsistent than Arsenal.
That's you're setting the tune for the banter, so let's not go there yet. But let's go for another short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about, of course, the teams, and then I'll let the fans do the banter. Let's go for a little short break. When we come back, of course, we'll get into the banter. By the way, we're streaming live on Facebook, so you can go there and drop a comment. We'll read them in the course of the show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Dubois is there, straight back in. Oh, it's a goal! Leon Dubois.
Because the Sport Kansas City played the simple ball. Dia in for her time.
Welcome back. It is still Battle of the Fans, a place where fans battle for who is better. My name is Isaac. You can always call me Marizona, and I officially welcome you to Battle of the Fans. Of course, I've been talking about, you know, some interesting things. Later this weekend, we're expecting an interesting game, Manchester United against Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium. That's the biggest game, you know, of the weekend. And I've got the United fan and Arsenal fan here who are going to battle for who is better. And I'll get to you guys right away.
Introduce them again.
Of course, Solorex Okpabi is here as well. He's a Manchester United fan. And of course, Umewe Ntikak, an Arsenal fan, an ardent Arsenal fan, of course. So, well, guys, let the banter begin. The question is, between Manchester United and Arsenal, who would end up at the top 4 this season?
Arsenal.
Why do you think so?
Arsenal.
It has to be Man United.
Arsenal has been more consistent than Manchester United. Manchester United have been very, very inconsistent this season.
What shall it profit Arsenal to finish in the top 4? You could recall the last time Arsenal were in the Champions League. They got whipped by Bayern Munich, 10 goals to 2 on aggregates. And they haven't been in European games in the last 6 years.
Was in the Champions League. We could all remember they could not even progress out of the group stage.
We were in the Champions League. That shows you consistency. That shows you consistency. That shows you a club that wants to pick something. A team like Arsenal are not supposed to even be playing in the Conference League.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Arsenal are not supposed, because they follow below the pecking order.
He says something very important, because Arsenal have missed out of the Champions League for, say, 4-5 seasons now. So what's your confidence that your team can make it to the Champions League this season?
Because we have not get this closer for a very long time.
Really?
We have not get this closer to getting a Champions League.
Last season you were as close as I could recall under Mikel Arteta when they won the FA Cup. Before that particular time, they were as close as, but they didn't finish in the top 4. You were contesting with the likes of Leicester City. What happened? Arsenal can't finish in the top 4 with this array of players. You can't trust any set of players to give you those.
A team that lose 4-0 to Liverpool and 5-0 to Liverpool, aggregate of 9-0. I'm not sure people have.
A team that lost to a newly promoted Brentford, is that a team that wants to represent England in the European games?
This is Premier League we are talking about. Anybody can beat anybody.
As an Arsenal fan, can you put your money on Arsenal to win even the next game? Can you?
I can.
What of the next coming game?
Today, yes, I'm very sure.
No, I doubt you. Arsenal can never win.
Arsenal is going to win today.
For Solorex Okpabio, he said something, about your Manchester United team losing scandalously to Liverpool over 2 legs, 5-0 in the first leg, 4-0 in the second leg, and that clearly does not show champions quality. So what are your expectations from your Manchester United team? Do you think that with the way they played against a team like Liverpool, they'll be able to go to the Champions League and play against teams like Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Inter Milan, and the rest of them?
Name them. We are ready for them. Bayern.
Well, Umar, do you think so?
Name them. We are ready to play Bayern.
They could not play Atletico Madrid. They are packing the ball.
Bayern. Atletico Madrid packing the box. That's not a preferred style of play for for teams like that. You can't be packing the box if you want to get a result in modern day football.
Sent out of the Champions League by Manchester City, your very own arch rivals.
So where are the Atletico Madrid today? Packing the boss against Man United. Man United front 3 are not good to get in those goals. But against Man City, what happened? What happened against Man City? So what shall it profit Arsenal? What shall it profit Arsenal to get to European games and still replicate what happened years back?
It's not the same Arsenal we are talking about. That is so many years ago.
Can you list certain set of players that can take Arsenal to even leave the group stage?
To Bayern Munich some years ago are not there anymore. This is a very different Arsenal with a different
coach. With Bukayo Saka, Rose Smith, Martinelli.
Those players were not there when these teams were whooped by Bayern Munich and Barcelona back then.
Were Rose Smith better than Alexis Sanchez of that time? Fabregas?
Well, we are looking at the new generation of Arsenal players.
New generation.
Let's talk about something. He said something interesting. I mean, Arsenal have got, a list of youngsters.
Yes.
And of course, in the Champions League, you need a certain level of experience, to be able to grind out results, against, teams, the big guns in Europe. We're talking about the likes of Bayern Munich, we're talking Inter Milan, we're talking the likes of Barcelona, we're talking Real Madrid. Do you think that your Arsenal young boys would be able to go out there to the continent of Europe and defeat these teams?
Last time I checked, Ajax, Erik ten Hag, the new manager of Manchester United, has just been appointed. He made use of a very young squad.
Where did he finish that season? Where did he finish?
Out,
after he eliminated Real Madrid, where did they finish? Did they win the Champions League?
But at least they went as far as the semi-finals.
I think eliminating the big guns in the league, the aim is supposed to be winning the Champions League or going as far as finishing in the final.
All the teams that have been making use of the old players, where are they? Man United have Cristiano Ronaldo and Edison Cavani with the 2 veteran strikers. Where have they gone to?
No thanks to injury. No thanks to injury.
That's what happens when you depend on old players.
No, that can never happen.
37-year-old and 34-year-old players.
Now, let me tell you, if you are depending on a young lad to get to the result, they will not get to.
My young lads are getting me the result.
Now, let me shock you. You could recall what happened at the Euros. Saka couldn't rise to the party. And the people started blaming him. He's 20.
What happened to the old gang?
He's 20 years of age.
What happened to the old people?
You can't
the rest of Luke Shaw and the rest of why couldn't they step on?
You can't carry. Saka can't carry Arsenal on his shoulders because he's too young for that.
Now guys, let's come to something. Solorex Okpabio, he has also said something interesting. You've got a good list of your team actually has a good list of experienced players in the team. We're talking Ronaldo, we're talking Edison Cavani, just as he said. We're talking Paul Pogba, we're talking Luke Shaw in the team as well. Nemanja Matic played for Chelsea in European competitions. David De Gea has also been in and out in a while, but your crop of experienced players in quotes have not been able to come up to the party. So what's the assurance that they'll qualify for the Champions League next season?
Mario, that is why I said no thanks for injury. Looking at Edison Cavani.
Is injury an excuse?
Yeah, it's a big excuse. Looking
really?
at Edison Cavani.
Well, if you go back to 2018, Liverpool had an injury, of the key player, and they still defeated Barcelona in the semi-finals of that competition.
What happened last season when they lost Van Dijk? They conceded goals left, right, centre against Southampton, winning them at Anfield. What happened?
So, coming to you as an Arsenal fan, of course, I know your expectation is that your team should qualify for the next round of the competition. But they face Manchester United today, so the battle is who wins today.
Very simple, Arsenal.
Tell me why.
We are the ones banging on a very good run of form at the moment.
Arsenal can't win.
We won Chelsea by 4-2. That means
you won against a depleted Chelsea team that Thomas Tuchel made a wholesale change in that particular squad. With the return of Cristiano Ronaldo, with the demise of his son, at least it will be of a morale booster for the players to try and see if they can win the game for him.
Team that won Southampton by 6-0 and went as far as almost doing a comeback against a 13-time champion Real Madrid at Santiago Bernabeu.
Is Arsenal now competing with the likes of Southampton? Now look at how Arsenal have fallen below the pecking order.
I'm only saying you said Chelsea is not like they are not so good at the moment.
Yeah, they are not good.
I'm only giving an instance where they won by 6-0 against a Southampton that defeated you by 1-0.
Then what happened against Liverpool? Why didn't they get the result against Liverpool?
That is football.
Looking at Man United, with the return of Cristiano Ronaldo, Marcus Rashford, MBE will always get you the results you are looking for. If Cristiano Ronaldo can't get you the goals, there is a certain Elanga being introduced to the team by Ralph Rangnick. Don't forget about Jordan Sancho. They will go on and win again. And Man United are yet to lose on St. George's Day. Today being St. George's Day, Man United are not going to lose again.
Have not won a single match.
It's a game of consequence, but I think
early kickoff.
No, it doesn't matter, but they have been taking points.
They took points against
They took points against Arsenal.
They are playing against Arsenal at Emirates Stadium.
Let's talk about something. Let's take a look at the stats and the fact, of course. Manchester United, of course, the seat below Arsenal, 3 points separating, both teams right there. And according to statistics, according to the current table, Arsenal are in a good position to qualify over Manchester United. Now, Solerex Akpabio, I'll come to you as a Manchester United fan. 3 points separating your team and his Arsenal. Do you think that they can topple Arsenal and qualify? Meanwhile, there is a Tottenham Hotspur lurking around, of course. So, it's a case of United and Arsenal. Do you think that your team can bounce back from that 3 points disadvantage and topple Arsenal?
Yeah, United are yet to lose a back-to-back game since Ralph came in.
Really?
Yeah, and with the return of Ronaldo, it's going to be a goal galore. Looking at Arsenal this season, aside from Rose Smith, Bukayo Saka, you can't rely on this Arsenal team to give you goals. You have a certain Cristiano Ronaldo in the team who has scored 14 goals, 20 goals in all competition, doing it season in season. And you could recall the last time what happened against Arsenal. He backed the brace in that particular one. So come on, bring in Cristiano Ronaldo, bring in Elanga, bring them, let them get the goals for you.
Let's compare the defense of both sides. Of course, the Arsenal team have got defenders like Ben White, Gabriel, Pablo Mari, Rob Holding as well. And then his team has got Harry Maguire. Of course, I know you'd laugh. Of course, I know you'd laugh. But let's talk about the defensive shape of both teams. Do you think that your defense will be able to see off to this Arsenal side?
Sure. With Maguire and the returning Varane in the team, they can always
Do you
get
trust
the result.
Maguire enough?
I trust Maguire.
Now,
do you know what it means to be the captain for the Three Lions and also being the captain for Man
I'll come
United?
to you as an Arsenal fan. What are the weak links that you would expect your team to capitalize and defeat Manchester United today?
You just mentioned someone.
Really?
Harry Maguire.
And you've forgotten about your midfield that doesn't have a certain Thomas Partey that will be in the party.
Harry Maguire.
When Thomas Partey is not in the party, Arsenal struggle.
Let's take a look at some comment from our official Facebook page. And Michelle Hart says, between Arsenal and Manchester United, which team will represent English clubs better? That's a question.
Yeah, it has to be Man United. Because the last time Arsenal were in European games, it was a shame.
Really? Now, the last time Manchester United represented England in the competition was just this season.
Yeah.
And where did they drop out? They lost Atletico Madrid, right?
To the previous one, they went out of the group stage.
We lost just a goal to nothing. And Arsenal lost to a certain Bayern Munich team.
Competition.
We lost to one of the best teams, respectively. And you lost to a Bayern team 10 goals to 2. That's a shame.
All right, guys. Of course, we are streaming live on Facebook. You can also, head to our Facebook page and drop a comment there. It's STVNg. Go there and drop a comment. I'll read them in the course of the show, even as we continue with the banter. Let me head back to the fans in the studio. Of course, whomever comes to you right now for your Arsenal team. Mikel Arteta, a young, vibrant coach who is trying to do something fantastic with this Arsenal team. But of course, he's not coached Arsenal in a European competition, relatively inexperienced in the competition as the Champions League before. So what is the assurance that he'll take United, your Arsenal rather, to the Champions League and keep them there?
Well, let me use Real Madrid for example. Real Madrid took a chance on Zinedine Zidane, who had a very little experience when they sacked Carlo Ancelotti then. They gave him the helm of affairs to be in charge. And what happened? We all saw what happened. He took them to 3 Champions League finals and won all the 3. So the same thing happened to Pep Guardiola when they gave him the chance at Barcelona.
So you think that Mikel Arteta is going to have that luck?
And Mikel Arteta had learned so well from Pep Guardiola.
Learned so well?
Yes.
How can you say that?
Yes.
When Pep took them to back-to-back Champions League, who was he competing with? In the La Liga, who was he competing with? In the Premier League, you have a certain Pep Guardiola, you have Thomas Tuchel, you have Jurgen Klopp as well. Mikel Arteta can't outshadow these top-class managers to go on and finishing in the competition. I can say so.
Can never say
because
so. We have to wait and see how it goes.
The result is going negative already because they're struggling.
Both teams are struggling. It's not just like as if Man United doing so well.
No, aside from Man United, I'm talking of Arteta competing with one of the best coaches out there, Pep, Tuchel. Can he outshadow them and try to see if they can go to Europe?
Of course, he just beat Thomas Tuchel by 4-2.
After that, then where is Arsenal? No, where is Arsenal? If he has beaten Tuchel, the result is supposed to be they are top in Chelsea. For how many years?
It is still Battle of the Fans. Let's go for another short break. When we come back, we'll talk about the fans. Get your thoughts and predictions ahead of that game against, of course, United as well as Arsenal. Stick around. We'll be right back.
It's his corner now. The cross, back post. Dubois is there. Straight back in. Oh, it's a goal! Leo Dubois. In for Hurtado.
Politics is a game. It is about delivering dividends of democracy. For this, accountability is key. So we listen, we follow up on the promise, and we track the progress. Watch Political Spectrum weekdays, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., exclusive to Spectrum Television.
It's his corner now. The cross, back post. Dubois is there. Straight back in. Oh, it's a goal! Leo Dubois.
Because the Sports City played the simple ball.
Welcome back to the show. It's still Battle of the Fans on Spectrum TV. Of course, we're streaming live on the Facebook page, and go there and drop a comment and we'll read them in the course of the show. Battle of the Fans, by the way, is a place where you, the fan, would have a chance to defend and rep your club in the face of stiff opposition. My name is Isaac. You can always call me Mr. Marizona, and I've got the Manchester United fan with me, Solorex Akpabio, and I also have an Arsenal fan, Omoenwe Tika, and they've been defending their club in the face of stiff opposition. Well, this is the final round of banter, guys. First up, for Manchester United, they've spent more money than Arsenal, but they sit 3 points below Arsenal. And Arsenal, by the way, are using relatively inexperienced boys, to play the competition this particular season. So, what are the chances that either of your teams will qualify for the top 4?
Looking at Man United, I've been saying this. We have experienced players who want to turn up the party. Cristiano Ronaldo in the building, Rashford, Elanga, Jordan Sancho. They will definitely get Man United to the next level. Do you know what it feels if Ronaldo is not in the Champions League? And Mr. Champions League for that matter. So he definitely want to propel Man United to the Champions League.
Let me come to you. He said something about, he's mentioned 2 names who I believe have flopped in United. Jadon Sancho, and of course, he's talked about Ronaldo, scored 15 goals so far in the season. So before I come to you, let's take some comments from our Facebook page. Prince Covenant Joe says, Man United has no coach at the moment. They have a sports director in Ralph. They will make it to the top 4. That's for you, Solorex.
And that's his own belief. With Ralph, everything is possible.
Really?
Yeah. Remember, he's a professor. The professor. He taught the likes of Tuchel, Klopp.
Tuchel and Klopp are above him in terms of points this season.
Where did he meet them? Where did he meet them? So give him time. Give Ralph the time. He will propel.
Ralph, at the end of the season, is going to be a sporting director.
That's why I'm saying you should give him to the end of the season. You know what it means for a club like Man United to play in the Champions League.
I'll come to you now. As an Arsenal fan, of course, so much is expected from the fans. The fans, before now, the Arsenal fans used to be used to heartbreak, but gradually things are getting better for Arsenal. So do you think that they can topple Man U today? If they defeat Man U today, there will now be 6 points above United. So what are their chances?
It's very possible, Mary.
It's never possible.
It's very possible.
It's never possible.
It's very possible.
It's never possible.
We are ready.
Looking at the Arsenal team, which of the players do you think will turn up to party? This is a certain Arsenal team that has been wrecked by injury. Thomas Partey not there. Defense line of Ben White, you can't trust them. Consider a couple of goals. They can't beat Man United. They can't beat Man United. Want to play in the Champions League. They know what it means to play in the Champions League. They'll always turn up to party.
Now
between Manchester United and Arsenal, who understands the Champions League more?
I think Manchester United. Man United understand what it means to play in the Champions League. Season in,
Man
season
United
out.
understand what it means to
season
play
in, season out.
How far have
Season
they gone
in,
since
season out.
2009?
The last time Arsenal were there, how far did they go?
Since 2009, how far have they gone?
The last time Arsenal were there, what did they achieve?
The last time Man U was there, what have they achieved? Both teams have not achieved anything.
Can you rightly say Arsenal can represent England
guys,
football?
Let's some comments on the Facebook page. Prince Covenant Joe for the second time says it has been years since Arsenal featured at the Champions League. What are they fighting for? They want to go and share 3 points to the bigger teams.
Thank you.
Will Arsenal go to the Champions League
to share points?
And share points.
No.
And guess what?
We don't go to share points.
They go to share points.
We don't. We are going to make a statement that we are back.
What else?
Now, if Arsenal happen to qualify for the Champions League, where do you think they'll reach? Which stage in the competition do you think they'll reach?
First of all, looking at Mikel Arteta and his young boys, we don't have to give him a very high expectation.
You need to give him a high expectation. This is the manager who won the FA Cup with them. This is the manager who won the FA Cup. So
the last time Man U gave a high expectation to a coach, we all know how it turned out.
Too much is given, much
expected. What happened when they gave me a higher expectation against Villarreal?
Ole took Man United to the Champions League football back-to-back season.
He lost a Europa League final.
That was his first final. It's not every manager that will win their first final.
Semi-finals.
Do you know what it means? Do you know what it means to play against? Do you know what it means to play a well-drilled Villarreal team?
Period with Soldier, Frank Lampard. The other two are gone.
Currently, where's Arsenal? Where's Arsenal?
Let me come to you as a Manchester United fan. Of course, if your team happens to qualify for the Champions League, which stage of the competition do you think they'll reach with the crop of players that they have in the team?
We are definitely going to win it. Yeah.
He says they're going to win.
We are going to win the Champions League.
Mary, and I, we can remember the last 2 editions of the UEFA Champions League.
Last time they were in the look at the set of Man United players.
RB Leipzig. After beating RB Leipzig by 5 goals to nothing. Rashford scored a hat-trick in that match. What happened? A wasted hat-trick, I call it.
That was a wasted
hat-trick.
You call it a wasted hat-trick?
It wasn't a wasted.
Why is it wasted?
After having 9 points.
No, it wasn't. Looking at the set of players, by that time, Ronaldo wasn't in the mix. Varane wasn't there. So having a
is it all about Ronaldo now?
Yeah, having a serial winner in your team.
Are you now depending on a 27-year-old player to get to the Champions League?
He has scored 20 goals this season.
But they have a Ronaldo this season, and they're still crashed out of the competition.
Maria, you can all see that.
That was no thanks to injury. Varane wasn't in the mix.
He's now from Ronaldo to Varane.
Yeah, leaving the defense line for a certain Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire is not good.
That's why I'm saying they need to partner with alongside Maguire and Varane. So Varane wasn't there. Then Maguire was prone to errors.
All right, guys, we're still taking comments on our Facebook page. It is still Battle of the Fans. The conversation is getting very heated up. Emotions are running very high in the studios right here with a United fan and an Arsenal fan with us this morning. We're still taking comments on the Facebook page. Just go there, STVNg, and drop a comment right there. But finally, guys, before we begin to wrap up the show this morning, let's get to predictions. Manchester United against Arsenal. I'll start with you. I'll start with the home side, Arsenal. Yeah. It's in Emirates Stadium, and of course, so much is expected.
Yes,
so give me a scoreline.
2-0. 2-0.
So you think your team will score United 2 and United are not going to?
It's never possible. It's never possible. A team that are
yet
to lose on a St. George's Day will lose to Arsenal.
A team
not
that
even
never
any other
won
team.
a kickoff match.
A team that is yet to lose on St. George's Day.
A team that has not won a kickoff match. This is an early kickoff, and we all know what will happen.
God designed this day. Being a St. George's, God designed this day being a St. George's Day. United are not going to lose this particular game.
All right, Slerex, we are already out of time. Yeah. So let's get to you as a Manchester United fan. You're traveling away.
Yeah.
Your team has got a not so good away record this particular season, of course. So traveling to the Emirates Stadium to take on Arsenal, give me a scoreline.
United will always have a perfect away record when it comes to Arsenal.
Really?
Take you down the memory lane. So we are definitely going to win Arsenal. Maybe 5 goals to 6. 5 goals to nothing, beg for pardon.
5 goals to nothing?
Yeah.
All right,
we see how... Who scored the 5 goals when my accent?
The return of Cristiano Ronaldo. Elanga,
Jordan. Do you just mention? Are you now depending on a 17-year-old?
Exactly. That was how we depend. That was how we depend. We were depending on a certain Rashford.
It's depending on youngsters.
Our youngsters more experienced than theirs.
More experienced. Let's take a comment from the Facebook page. And if you're Ben Noble on Facebook says, I pity Erik ten Hag. Man United will suffer coaching Manchester United players. Why leave Ajax to coach a team like United? That's a question for Solerex Akpabi, United fan.
Ten Hag is that manager that wants to be like Pep, Klopp. He's not yet there. He wants to be there.
Is it about bald-headed?
Yeah, he believes that he can propel this set of Man United players to the glory there. That's why he's coming for the job. He believes with the players. If he's coming with the right tactics, then
let me come to you. Do you see Ten Hag as a competitor with the likes of Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, and of course your Mikel Arteta?
Mary, we have seen.
There's no need of putting even Arteta in the mix. There's no need of putting Arteta in the mix.
And flop. They could not succeed. We see a legendary and veteran Louis van Gaal. We see Mourinho.
What did Van Gaal achieve? What did Mourinho?
What would we not expect from
hired a Finnish Jose Mourinho in the team? Mourinho that can't win your thing. Mourinho was finished.
He's not among the top 5 leagues.
Mourinho was finished. That was the
Mourinho
reason he was finished, and he's still finished.
Are you serious?
Imagine Mourinho playing in the Conference League.
Mourinho made a statement.
Is that
he
a
said
Mourinho?
that finishing second with that Manchester United team was the best thing that he's ever done in his career.
Are you kidding me, Mourinho?
Finishing second.
Because he's finished. The manager is finished.
We all thought it was a joke. But now we can see
now look at the same Mourinho.
He has a point. Now he has a point. Since Jose Mourinho left the team, he's the last coach to win a trophy in Manchester United, of course. So since Mourinho left the team, do you think that any other coach has come in and has kept the standard? Mind you, Mourinho was seen as a villain at United. He was seen as a coach that made things, bad for United. So before we come talking about all of that, let's head back to the Facebook page. DJ GZE got you says Arsenal should just allow Ronaldo to dedicate goals to his childhood.
Thank you, GZE. Thank you, GZE.
So is it about children right now?
The Man U fans are now being emotional here, Mary.
Really?
Yes.
They're trying to be emotional.
We all console with Ronaldo for a loss of his child.
Maybe, of course,
yes, it's a big tragedy, but telling us that we should allow him to score for the sake of It's baby. This is football.
Now, let's talk about something, Solar Rex. I was talking about Manchester United and the fact that the last coach who won the silverware was Jose Mourinho. Yeah. And of course, you're saying that Jose Mourinho was finished. Yeah. And all of that.
And he's still finished.
Still finished. As a United fan, what did you make of Mourinho's time at United?
In a scale of 100, I rate him 20 over 100. 20 over 100.
20 over 100?
Yeah. A coach that won them 3 trophies.
A high-profile manager doesn't have issues with the players.
But that's it. Well, let's talk about Mourinho's, antecedents at United. Okay. He won the Europa League. Okay. Now, and the next coach that came after him was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Went to the Europa League final, could not win it. So, how would you rate Solskjaer against Mourinho?
Is Man United now a team that is supposed to be winning the Europa League? Is Man United now a team that is supposed to be going to Europa League final?
But are you asking me?
No. You're saying he was the Messiah.
Yeah.
Is he a team that is supposed to be winning, going to Europa League final?
That is how bad Man United have gone.
That's why I say Mourinho wasn't the best. Now look at what he was able to do with a good Man United team that had a certain Rooney in that team, Michael Carrick, name them, Paul Pogba. He won the Europa League.
Now I'll come to you, quickly. As a Manchester United fan, there's been so much, as an Arsenal fan rather, there's been so much talk about the fact that Arsenal have been anonymous, neither seen nor heard in European competition for the last 4, 5, 6 years. As a matter of fact, they've not won a European trophy in a very long time. The last time they reached a final, they lost to Chelsea in the Europa League 2018, if I'm not too wrong. So what are the chances that Arsenal, if they qualify for the Champions League next season, will be able to put up a good competition against the big guns in Europe?
Because I'm very sure if we get to qualify for the Europa Champions League, we will be able to go into the transfer market and get some.
Now we all know Arsenal.
Last season, what happened in the transfer window?
We all know Arsenal.
The last time Arsenal went to the transfer window, guess who they got?
Nicola Pepe.
Asaf and Pepe, Lokonga.
Oh, do you know Lokonga has been playing? Of course.
Now, what's his contribution to the team?
Please,
Pate is out.
Let's ask Solar Rex. Where is Daniel James now?
Daniel James. He wasn't good. We sold him out.
Let's take a comment from the Facebook page. Ofonime Sylvester says, Man U vs Arsenal game today will be a draw. Guys, a draw.
I doubt it.
Would you both settle for a draw?
The draw will be very okay by me, but I'm very certain a draw will not be okay for Solar Rex.
Why do you think so?
Because with a draw, we still be ahead of them.
They can't draw Arsenal. You can't rely on this Arsenal player to turn up.
With a draw, we still be ahead of them.
So United are going to take maximum 3 points
this match
against
is
Arsenal.
More on the Man United side.
Don't you think that's the reason why United are going to defeat Arsenal today?
Nah, they won't. They will not defeat us.
If Man United draw to Arsenal, it would be a shame. So they also be on the player to go all out and try to see taking 3 points from Arsenal. Arsenal, the last time Man United win away games, you know what happened when we meet Arsenal at Emirates Stadium? Emirates Stadium is Man United's second home ground.
Now, he said something about the Emirates Stadium. As an Arsenal fan, of course, United have gone to Arsenal, picked up interesting points. I remember 2-3 seasons ago, the man Jesse Lingard would go there, score goals and dance.
That shows you how
what's the assurance that your Arsenal team are going to be able to stand up tall against United later today at your home stadium?
We fought very hard at Old Trafford. We was just we were a little bit sloppy in that match.
That's why they will be sloppy. That's why Arsenal will still be sloppy when they face Man United. They will continue to struggle.
But I believe we have learned our lessons. We have learned from the mistakes at Old Trafford, so we will not repeat the same mistakes.
The first thing of Man United is the beginning of wisdom, because Arsenal will definitely struggle. When anytime they face Man United, they will.
I really hope they get you repeat that same thing he did at Old Trafford again.
And what
did he do?
We stumbled on the ground after his own teammates matched him. And he was lying down hoping that the referee would blow the goal for a foul. But at the end of the day, the VAR gave me the goal.
He's a human being. He's prone to making those errors.
Now, guys, let's talk about the most recent meeting between Arsenal and Manchester United. Of course, it ended 3-2 at the Old Trafford. United with a better team in that particular one, and just as you.
Thanks to their Cristiano Ronaldo, anyway.
Yeah, of course.
That's why I'm saying you will turn up to party.
Yeah, of course.
He lost party like this.
And Ronaldo is back in training after that tragedy. He missed out, the game over the midweek.
I was hoping he's going to miss both Liverpool and Arsenal, but what?
Right, so before we talk about that particular game in perspective, DJ GZ Gossi says, Marizona, if you allow Solar Rex blow that guy, I beg next time sit in the bed will make you see real red blood. That Solar Rex of a guy, no get joy. Well, Solar Rex, I hope you're not being overly emotional.
Yeah, I'm just being realistic. The passion.
Because the fan they just said you might, hit him.
I will hit him on the pitch.
You hit him on the pitch.
Yeah,
I like that.
Most Man U fans are very emotional. They are very emotional.
Really? Why do you think? 4 or 5 years ago, it used to be a case of the Arsenal fans being overly emotional, you know, due to the fact that the standards will be high, but the performance are going to be down below. But since Mikel Arteta came in, there's been strings of inconsistent performances, but then they've been good too. Are your United team not afraid of Arsenal?
Man United can never be afraid of Arsenal. They can't.
Why do you think so?
What do they have for us to be afraid of? Is it a certain Bukayo Saka?
A chance for a top 4 finish this season.
United
they are 3 points better than your team.
United can't even fear the manager, Arteta.
Well, he says United are not afraid of Mikel Arteta.
Well, that is how Thomas Tuchel underrated Arteta, and then we all saw the result last week.
Now looking at the Premier League table, looking at the Premier League table, where is Thomas Tuchel and where is Arteta? These are things you need to consider.
All right, so let's go for another short break. When we come back, we'll still talk about the fans and talk to, of course, the games that we're expecting later today. Manchester United against Arsenal. It's an interesting one, and it'll go down later today by 12:30 p.m. The show is still Battle of the Fans, and we're still bantering. But let's go for a short break. We'll be right back. Stick around.
Says here's Cornet now. The cross, back post. Dubois is there, straight back in. Oh, it's a goal! Leo Dubois.
Because the Women's Sport Yesterday played the simple ball. Dia in for her tunnel.
The Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by grossly abused. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigerian police force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian police force.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
My lord, the Matters Council is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord, but we can't be talking about cases which are in court,
Is
my
this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
My lord, sorry, my lord. I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
Politics is a game. It is about delivering dividends of democracy. For this, accountability is key. So we listen, we follow up on the promise, and we track the progress. Watch Political Spectrum weekdays, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., exclusive to Spectrum Television.
Caceres, here's Cornet now. The cross, back post, Dubois is there. Straight back in. Oh, it's a goal! Leo Dubois!
Because the women's sport Kansas City played the simple ball. Dia in for Hurtado.
Welcome back to the show. The show is the Battle of the Fans on Spectrum TV. And my name is Isaac. Isaac, you can always call me Marizona. And I've got two fans here. We're talking about the game going down later today, Manchester United against Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium. And we're talking about the game. I've got an Arsenal fan here in Umwenwe and Tikak, and also a Manchester United fan, Solorex Akpabio. And both of them have been bantering seriously about who is better and who would qualify for the Champions League next season. Before we get back to them, let's read some comments from the Facebook page. Petra Imo Isieni says, I've no vex, I beg. That man you guy, no mention Maguire. I beg, I want that Chelsea at money. That guy will say confidence for Maguire. Now anti-Man U. Clearly, he says, of course, that's in pidgin, that you say you have confidence in Maguire, but you're anti-Manchester United.
Yeah, I have confidence.
This is a fellow Manchester United fan.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't know what it means to fan United, to fan
now,
Man United.
What do you make of Harry Maguire, frankly, as a United fan?
He's been a shadow of himself, but I think...
Has he ever been a fantastic player since joining United from Leicester City for £80 million?
Yeah, last season, Maguire was good. That was when you had a fit Scott McTominay and a Fred in the team.
So his performance is tied to two other players.
Now let's compare Maguire. When he does the national duty for England, he's being paired alongside in the midfield. You have a certain Declan Rice. We have Calvin Phillips, and in Man United you have Fred and McTominay. Those two guys are not central DMs. They can't get you the results you're looking for.
Now you've mentioned United's weaknesses, and there's an Arsenal fan sitting right beside you. Don't you think that his coach would capitalize on that blip and defeat your team later today?
Arsenal are still missing Thomas Partey.
He's out? Really?
Yeah.
So, Umar, let me come to you. Now, taking a look at, the absentees for your team, Arsenal, Partey is obviously out too. How would that midfield shape up, for against a team like Manchester United?
The last match against Chelsea, Mohamed Elneny did very well. He did greatly. Mohamed Elneny and Granit Xhaka. Xhaka has been that Xhaka we know some years back. Especially that game against Chelsea was very good. So I believe that pairing of Granit Xhaka and Elneny will do us a whole lot of good in the absence of Thomas Partey. So we will make use of what we have.
All right.
That is football.
Now, let's head back to the game. Of course, it's going to be a game against two different attacks. This Arsenal attack consisting of young boys. We're talking about Emil Smith-Rowe, we're talking Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, Alexander Lacazette as well in the mix. We're talking, the likes of Martin Odegaard against a relatively, other attackers, against a list of other attackers. Yeah. We're talking Ronaldo, Edison Cavani is out, Jadon Sancho, we're talking Anthony Elanga too. The battle of two attacks, who would win the battle?
It has to be the front three of Man United. Looking at Cristiano Ronaldo, he's a match winner. Remember what happened against Tottenham. Remember what against Norwich City. Still this same Arsenal, he scored twice. Then Ronaldo can propel Man United to getting 3 points.
He has a point. Ronaldo scored twice against your Arsenal team in the first leg of this game. So in the battle of the attack, do you think your Arsenal attack, can come in good today?
As I said before, we were sloppy in that first leg.
That's why you keep on being sloppy against a team like Man United.
We have learned our lesson. We won't make that same mistake we made in the first leg. He's talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, the young man has been very great coming in.
Thank God, you just don't, he's a young man now.
Exceptional. We all know he's a legendary player. Anytime, any day, we give it that to him. But outside Ronaldo, who else do they have?
You have a certain Fernandes.
Fernandes has been a shadow of himself.
He hasn't been a shadow of himself.
That is not the Fernandes.
This is a certain Fernandes that loves scoring away goals. Away goals in the league.
He made mention of Jordan Sancho. Jordan Sancho I saw at Borussia Dortmund is not the same Jordan Sancho that is playing. He can't even dribble the way he did back then in Borussia Dortmund. It seems he's afraid of dribbling here in the EPL.
It's a different thing. Performing at Borussia Dortmund, coming to a team like Man United, a different background, you're definitely not going to hit the ground running in the first games. Don't give him time, he'll settle in. Going to this particular game, Jordan Sancho is one of the threats to Arsenal.
And then we also have our own threat.
Who is the threat?
Martin Odegaard has been very exceptional.
Goodness me.
Emily Simiro has become the second youngest player to score 10 league goals.
You are supposed to be
with
hiding.
a very good number of assists.
You are supposed to be hiding with what you are saying.
Saka has been very great too.
Why do you think he's supposed to be hiding with what he's talking about? Smith Rowe, of course, the second youngest player to score 10 league goals in the Premier League in this history. That shows you that this young man has come to stay in the Premier League. And he has a point, so why would he hide?
Do you know who is Saka?
Well, I know Bukayo Saka is an Arsenal player.
Do you know who is Martinelli?
Martinelli is an Arsenal player.
Then are those the players that are going to turn up?
Well, ask him.
Compared to Cristiano Ronaldo, compared to Jordan Sancho,
He has an answer to that
compared to Jordan Sancho.
question.
These are players that want to turn up to Paris. Ronaldo can't hide in big games. Looking at the big games he has played this season, he has definitely gotten Man United the goals. He even scored against Liverpool, but it was ruled out for offside. He will always be scoring those goals, whether the decision is being made for the goal to stand or not.
So, Rex, you just made a statement. Against Liverpool, he was there.
He scored, but the goal was ruled offside. He scored.
Offside is offside.
He scored.
A goal being ruled offside means it's a no-go, is a no-go.
Human beings are officiating it, so you expect them to be...
With a VAR, video assistant referee. That's why he was brought in.
Is VAR God?
Well, guys, let's not talk about officiating, of course. Let's dwell on the games, because at the end of the day, there's been this interesting stuff happening. Before we talk about all of that, let's head back to the Facebook page. Adiefi of Ben Noble says, Ronaldo can only score against small teams like Norwich City. Against Arsenal, he will be caged.
Arsenal is also a small team because he scored against them.
Arsenal are 3 points ahead of your United.
Ronaldo scored against Arsenal, so Arsenal is also a small team. Arsenal can't cage Cristiano Ronaldo.
What do you classify as a small team?
A small team, for me, has to be a team that can play in European games back to back.
Now, Umainwe, he says a small team is a team that cannot play in continental games back to back, and Arsenal fits that description. So, do you think Arsenal are a small team? You're Arsenal.
Mary,
he's even finding it difficult. He's even finding it difficult.
He
knows what it means.
Use of going to the continental game, as he has said, and then you can't even progress beyond the group stage.
But at least you're qualifying.
You're going.
You're Arsenal are yet to qualify in the long term.
You're getting those money between him and Sheriff. That team that defeated Real Madrid. That team from, is it Hungary?
Should I tell you the difference?
From an league, from a very far.
Should I tell you the difference?
All of them just came to the Champions League.
Going to the Champions League, you stand a chance of at least taking something back home. Arsenal don't stand any chance of winning.
All right, money. So let's head back to the Facebook page. Prince Covenant Joe says, Umainwe, you talk as if Arsenal is a big team, a team with small mentality. Can you describe your team as a big team?
Yes.
You can't describe Arsenal as a big team.
Most successful team in English football.
After
you got me there. After
Liverpool. But we are talking of the present. We are talking of the present, not the past.
Arsenal holds the record for the most FA Cup with 14.
We are talking.
Arsenal has more titles than even Chelsea. If Chelsea could claim to be a big team,
we're not talking Chelsea. We're talking Manchester United.
I was expecting him to say Arsenal have more titles than Man United. That was what I was expecting.
Of course, you don't have much trust.
Then you need to give everything to Man United because
at the moment, Man U is a shadow of himself.
Fine,
when last did you win a trophy?
If I was an Arsenal fan, by now I could have been hiding.
Why would he be hiding?
Because of the performance these teams are getting.
If an Arsenal fan is hiding, what would the Man United fan be doing after losing 4-0 and 5-0 to a Liverpool team aggregate of 9-0?
Were you able to win that same Liverpool? Were you able to win?
Consider number of goals.
A defeat is a defeat. Oh. A defeat is a defeat. Whether it's 1-0, 2-0.
That's exactly what I told you when you mentioned Atletico Madrid.
It's a defeat. We are not bringing Atletico Madrid back here. We are talking of Arsenal, who lost to Liverpool. United also lost to Liverpool. But coming to today's game, I will definitely tell you.
United also lose to Atletico Madrid by 1 goal to nothing.
I'll definitely tell you that Man United will get the perfect result against Arsenal.
All right, guys, enough of the banter. Of course, it's been interesting. But I think, if you want to judge by what we've seen here, United are going to win Arsenal because you've not been able to defend your club. Well, I think the Arsenal fans are not happy with you.
That's why the Arsenal fans can't even defend themselves.
Right. Well, let's talk about some interesting games that are going to go down today because, of course, we're expecting some interesting matchups. We're talking about the likes of Man City will be in action this weekend. Chelsea as well, will be in action. But let's talk about Chelsea. Chelsea are chasing their place in the top 3. They seem very comfortable. They lost, to Arsenal in the previous game, and I see he's happy, he's smiling. Of course, that's something.
With a very good margin.
A very good margin, 4 goals to 2, of course. But they take on a West Ham United team they are also chasing a top 4 spot. So what do you make of Chelsea against West Ham? Solerex Akpabio.
I think first of all, West Ham are going to sleep considering the fact that they defeated Chelsea in the first league. Their ambition for West Ham this season is winning the Europa League. You've seen what David Moyes has done. You've been able to propel this team to where they are. Defeating Lyon is no mean feat for a team like West Ham. So I think the concentration will be winning the Europa League and maybe just giving in a chip in with some of the games. Looking at the West Ham team, it's been affected by injuries. The likes of a couple of their defenders out on injury, leaving the likes of Obona, who is not been playing consistent games for, West Ham assistance. So I think Chelsea will still come out top with this particular one with their experience. Thomas Tuchel will want to lose, to a fellow London rivalry team like West Ham back to back. So I think Chelsea will come out top.
All right, let's come to you. Leicester City against Aston Villa. It's a case of two teams struggling. Leicester City have not been able to find their feet this particular season. And for Aston Villa, it's been a case of inconsistent form here and there. So what kind of game are you expecting? Leicester City against Aston Villa.
First of all, Bernard Rodgers, it seems he has lost. He's not the same Bernard Rodgers we knew 2 years ago when he came into that Leicester side. Leicester City were a team that were challenging for even a Champions League spot, even a Europa League spot. But this season, Leicester City has been a shadow of itself. They have been underperforming. And Aston Villa, after bringing in Steven Gerrard, they started like a house on fire. But at some point, Steven Gerrard is also losing it out. So
maybe they've poured cold water on that particular fire, right? Let's talk about another interesting game.
Philippe Coutinho.
Philippe Coutinho is in the team.
So well when he came
at some point, he's dropped in form.
He's deep in form.
City against Watford, clearly it's going to be a one-sided game. Man City are chasing that Premier League title. Watford are struggling all season, and I feel sad for them because they have 4 Nigerians in that team: William Trostekong, Ogede Kare-Itebo, Samuel Kalu, and Emmanuel Dennis. But all of these players have not been able to turn up to the party for Watford.
Hey, Watford, the struggle will continue because they keep on turning and offing. If you want to be in the Premier League, maybe the main aim is when you come to the Premier League, get a certain striker you can bang in on getting those goals. Look at what Mitrovic is doing at Fulham. When he came to the Premier League, he scored more than 10, 15 goals. So I think Watford are still lacking in that angle. No, they can't rely on any striker to give them the goals they're looking for. That's the main reason they're struggling. Looking at the midfield, they have a certain cleverly in that team. Who is giving the team what the team is looking for, and not forgetting Musa Sissoko in the team as well. So if they can see how to get him on, and then try to run in behind the City defense, then they are sure of maybe picking something out of Man City today.
All right, let's head to the Facebook page. There's a comment there from Aniefjok Ben. By the way, thank you very much, Aniefjok Ben. You've been a consistent, contributor. Thank you very much. Aniefjok Ben Noble, by the way, says Arsenal and Manchester United are small teams, both of them, and they are making noise. The most successful team in England in the last 20 years has been Chelsea. Isaac, we have the bragging right, and not Arsenal, no Man United. Clearly, I can tell that you're a Manchester United fan.
Do you notice what I noticed? It started with Arsenal.
In alphabetical order.
Yeah, with Arsenal.
That's interesting. That's interesting. All right, guys, let's talk about Brentford against Tottenham Hotspur. Another interesting game. Brentford, of course, have experienced a resurgence, since the man, what's his name, Christian Eriksen came to the team, and he faces his former side, Tottenham Hotspur, later today. What kind of game are you expecting?
I'm expecting a very tough game. Brentford will give it very tough to Tottenham. Tottenham, just like Man United, have been very, very inconsistent.
But Tottenham sits above both United and Arsenal.
Yes, but they have been very inconsistent. They should even be more higher than that.
Yeah, you can't
comparing the kind of manager they have.
No, you can't. No, you can't judge Tottenham being inconsistent because they have. It's not up to 3 months. Antonio Conte has been in the job, so give him time. He's still trying to get the perfect result with this, setting of players who you can't rely on.
But
the likes of.
If with the very short span of time, he's been able to take them to the top 4.
Exactly.
I understand. Before he came in, Tottenham were around 9th or 10th in the position.
No doubt he has tried. He has done a great job. But concerning today's match against Brentford, we all know what they did to Chelsea.
And what they did to Arsenal as well.
They've not lost Manchester United, of course, so they have the bragging rights.
Yeah, no problem.
So it was A losing to B.
It was A losing to B. All right, let's talk about another interesting matchup. Of course, it's an interesting game, coming up later this weekend. But we have to talk about some Sunday games. Liverpool are also playing this particular weekend, but we are not so tough opponent. And of course, it'll be interesting. But for you, let's talk about the title race. It's Manchester City against Liverpool for the Premier League title this season. 1 point separating both teams. And clearly, this is going to go down to the very last game of the season. I'll come to you, Mwenwe. Do you think, now, which of the teams do you think would end up winning that title? Because, of course, it's just 1 point. And any slip that happens in the course of the remaining match days, one team will be better than the other.
Mary, it's difficult to tell. The reason I'm saying that both teams are very good. I could see, remember, about 2 or 3 seasons ago, this same thing happened. Liverpool versus Manchester City. It was a case of 1 point. At the end of the day, Manchester City won that league by, I think it was 98 to 97 points.
Absolutely.
So the same thing is repeating itself again this season. So for me, I feel Liverpool seems to have a little bit of the harder games ahead of them compared to Manchester City. Both teams don't want to lose. At this point, any of them that slips, the other one topples them. I think about 6 games to go before the season is wrapped up. I feel, for me, I feel Manchester City might just maintain this momentum to the end.
All right.
Except Watford will do something magic today.
All right. Thank you very much, guys, for coming around. This is where we have to call it a wrap on the show. This morning was the maiden edition of Battle of the Fans, and we had a swell time here in the last 1 hour and 30 minutes. Thank you very much, Sodorex Akwabi, for coming around.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you very much, Umenwe, for coming around. I hope that your predictions come to play, and at the end of the day, I wonder who is going to go. Thank you very much. Also, for you who participated on the show through our Facebook comments, of course, thank you very much. And Neofiel Ben Noble, thank you, DJ Jeezy, and thank you, Prince, of course, and everyone else who contributed to the show. We'll come back again on Monday, 5 p.m., Wednesday, 5 p.m., and Saturday, 9:30 a.m. And if you want to be a part of the show, to rep your club live in the studio with me, of course, just head to Spectrum TV official Facebook page, drop a comment there, a DM actually, and we'll consider you, of course,